Chapter 3. Honor the Most High first. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 9. Honor the Most High with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thy increase. Throughout the scriptures, we observe numerous examples which point to how the Most High wants to be honored. For starters, he desires to be first in our lives. Our first symbolizes the very best that we have to offer. When we offer our first to the Most High, we acknowledge that he is the most essential aspect of our lives. There was a story of two brothers in the book of Genesis that many of us are familiar with. The brothers' names were Cain and Abel. At an appointed time, they were required to bring an offering to the Almighty. Cain brought an offering from the fruit of the ground. Abel, on the other hand, brought from the firstling of his flocks. The scripture indicated that the Most High appreciated Abel's offering, while Cain's offering was disregarded. Why did the Most High reject Cain's offering? The answer is found within another ancient text called the book of Jasher. Jasher chapter 1 verse 15 and verse 16. And it was at the expiration of a few years that they brought an approximation offering to the Most High. And Cain brought from the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought from the firstling of his flocks, from the fat thereof. And the Almighty turned and inclined to Abel and his offering, and a fire came down from the Most High from heaven and consumed it. And unto Cain and his offering the Most High did not turn, and he did not incline to it, for he had brought from the inferior fruit of the ground before the Most High. And Cain was jealous against his brother Abel on account of this, and he sought a pretext to slay him. There are two major points we should consider in this story. First, Abel brought from the firstlings to the Most High, and it was accepted. He showed the Creator that he will offer him the absolute best he had, and the Most High acknowledged it. Cain offered the Almighty whatever he could find. As a result of this act, his offering was rejected. It is imperative that we consider the differences between Cain and Abel's offering when given to the Most High. Second, the Almighty does not need our money or any other tangible thing that we can offer. The Most High is trying our hearts to see if we truly love him above all the other things by exercising obedience. Another example of offerings mentioned in the Bible were when the children of Israel were commanded to give a tenth of all their increase as a tithe to the Most High. This included corn, wine, food, mint, and other things that came to them as a result of increase. The Levitical priests collected the tithes from the other 11 tribes and laid it up within their storehouses of the land. Not only were the Levites fed and sustained from the tithes, but the poor, the widows, and the fatherless, the strangers, were provided for as well. The Levites were able to receive the tithes because they were a set-apart tribe in Israel that were not permitted to work jobs like the other 11 tribes. Their work consisted of spiritual labor that committed years of their lives to the work of the temple and tabernacle. This was the most important work in the eyes of the Almighty. The Levites also had their own suburbs that separated them from the rest of the Israelites. They were considered the firstlings unto the Most High above the other tribes, and the tenth was what supported them. But we are not under the Levitical law. Many people will argue that we do not have to give to the Most High because we are not under the Levitical priesthood. Even though this is a valid argument, I would like to shine some light on a few instances where people still gave and were not required by law. In Genesis chapter 14, Abram gave Melchizedek tithes of all the increase that he received after regaining his nephew Lot. Also in Genesis chapter 28 and verse 22, Jacob vowed that he would give a tenth to the Most High. It is something extraordinary when we decide to honor the Most High first. Once he noticed that we have a heart to put him first, he will begin to open up his good treasure and help us in the more ways than our minds can imagine. In today's economy, giving can seem challenging when tax obligations and countless other expenses are pulling from our paychecks. Nonetheless, the sacrifice is well worth it. A good start is to put aside a tenth of your net income for the service of the Almighty. I understand that we are not under a law that says we must give 10%, but if you practice this principle, it will change your life. This 10% can be used towards giving it towards a spiritual cause, charity, or feeding the poor. When you give to those in need, you are really giving to the Most High. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 17. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Most High, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. When you give to the poor, you lay up a treasure for yourself, which can translate to a business opportunity, a miraculous healing, a pay raise, or the provision of any other kind of need or desire in your life. Proverbs chapter 19 and 17 says, that which he hath given will he pay again. The Most High will pay you back when you give to him. Choose a percentage that makes you feel comfortable, but be a genuine giver. A reason I chose to give 10% is because it is supported by scripture. The amazing part is that I'm still able to do seemingly just as much with 90% as I would with 100% of my increase. It's like a special force comes to my aid continually and helps the 90% supernaturally grow. Try it for yourself and see how it works for you. Give to a ministry. People often refrain from giving because of the uncertainty of who or what to give towards. There is a plethora of church and community leaders that have been caught in various scandals that have left many people wounded and distraught. Pray and wait for the right place to give towards a work of the Almighty. If you do not feel peace about giving to a ministry, put your money to the side and give when you feel the need. I had to take this action myself. I opened a bank account strictly for the work of the Almighty. I put 10% of my increase in this account and use it to feed the poor, clothe people in need, buy Bibles, and other things related to ministry. Charitable organizations can also be a good avenue for your giving. Just be sure to do your research and pray to see if those entities are legitimately helping people in need. Since we cannot physically give to the Most High, he regards it in our giving towards other worthy causes. However, it is imperative that we give to him first and give our very best. The first fruits of prayer. Another way to honor the Almighty first is to start your day in prayer. Our Creator should be the first one that we communicate with every day. In today's world, many people wake up and immediately grab their cell phones and other devices to check their emails, Facebook messages, and other less important things. Others may arise to brush their teeth, shower, iron their clothes, eat, and jump right in their cars without saying a word of prayer. I personally have found a tremendous amount of peace and direction when I decided to pray before I did anything else. Prayer sets the tone for our day and can prevent us from making costly mistakes. It is also the perfect opportunity to acknowledge the Almighty and express our gratitude to him for giving us another chance to breathe. Prayer should occur multiple times throughout the day, but definitely before you get your day started. By committing yourself to prayer at the beginning of the day, you show the Creator that you want to honor him first. You are looking for his guidance, his signs, and insights for the upcoming day. This alone will put you on a winning situation before you leave out of your house. More than likely, you will become more positive, upbeat, and energetic as you face the world. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3. Commit thy works unto the Most High, and thy thoughts shall be established. As we commit ourselves to the Almighty first, he in return will establish our thoughts. In prayer, we will receive ideas, thoughts, and helpful tools to aid us in the days to come. These thoughts can change our lives if we allow them to. All it takes is one idea to change the rest of your life. An idea that is acted upon can lift an individual from poverty to riches. It can change marriages, friendships, and improve various facets of our lives. We are to submit our businesses, jobs, relationships, and other meaningful things to the Almighty for his approval and acceptance. By committing our works to the Almighty, we are honoring him first. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Most High with all thy heart, and lean not to thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. In the book of Exodus, the firstborn of the males, the firstborn of the animals, the tithes, and the Levites were dedicated to the Most High. I challenge you to give to the Most High the first fruits of all your increase. You may not see the results right away, but keep practicing it. Over time, you will witness a series of events that will make this principle fundamental for your everyday life.